Evening. Today is Wednesday, April 21st, 2021. This is a regular session of the School Board of the School Trustees for the School City of East Chicago. The time is now 6:07 p.m. The place is the School City of East Chicago Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street, East Chicago, Indiana 46312. We are also on live stream at www.scec.k12.in.us. This is a meeting of the school board and public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. We do ask that we are respectful of the meeting as well as our presenters. Can we please have a roll call? Ms. Diane?
Present. Present. Present.
Present. Can you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? The next portion of the agenda will be presentations, and we first have a presentation by IXL by Assistant Superintendent Ms. Good.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I have a co-presenter who is going to Zoom in. His name is Ryan Perryman.
Good evening.
Okay, can you hear him?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Ryan is with IXL, so I will allow him to introduce himself. Ryan? Ryan, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, Ryan.
It's on.
Thank you, Ryan. Um, we're going to present to you this evening about the IXL software and the partnership that we are proposing between the School City of East Chicago and IXL. IXL is an educational software which allows us to deliver content for our students in math, English language arts. This year, we're going to have social studies, science, and social emotional learning, should the board choose to adopt it. So Ryan will begin with what is IXL? So who uses IXL? So IXL can be used for pre-K through grades 12. Currently in the school city of East Chicago, our high school students use IXL for mathematics. They use it for supplemental purposes, for instructional purposes, in order to give the students another opportunity to engage with math content. Um, They've also used IXL at Block Middle School and are asking to renew their subscription. So they use it, and one of our teachers is posted and highlighted on their website, and her statement is, "My scholars absolutely love using IXL. IXL gives them a chance to master skills before having to take any assessments to find out whether or not they need to continue to practice with the skill. The ability to be able to identify where students lack in certain areas of math hasn't really been a struggle, since with IXL, you can adjust the learning plan based off of the grade and the standard to correlate with it. So IXL correlates with the Indiana Academic Standards, and it is a program that is widely used throughout Indiana. I think he said earlier, I just want to make sure you heard him say that it's a personalized learning platform, and it's used by schools there are 73% of the schools in Indiana that use IXL. Okay, Ryan, who uses IXL? Well, some of the districts in Indiana that use IXL are MSD of Warren Township, MSD of Wayne Township, MSD Perry Township, Washington Township, South Bend Community Schools, whose demographics look very much like ours, Tippecanoe School Corporation, Portage, Bartholomew, and Sheridan. Those were a few of the school districts that they pulled from their database. IXL is a research-based, has research-based content. It is aligned with ESSA and approved by ESSA. It is aligned to iLearn, and IXL also caters to our special population, special education, and English language learners. Specifically, special education and EL students experience similar to greater gains in performance with additional time on IXL as compared to their peers. iRead, iLearn, and SAT. So IXL directly correlates with the iRead test, which students take in the state of Indiana at the grade level of 3. iLearn, students take iLearn grade levels 3 through 8, and it is aligned to the Indiana Academic Standards. And SAT. So as some of you may know, some of you may not know, that the state is adopting the SAT as the new indicator for graduation requirements. Therefore, this can be a useful tool for preparing our students to pass the SAT exam or to meet the benchmark which will be required by the state of Indiana. IXL District and School Analytics. So there are multiple reports and data that can be accessed with IXL. They have reports that allow you to track achievement, to align with research-based strategies, to support teacher engagement as well as student engagement, and to get data at any level with those flexible reports. So just like we use iReady, we would like to use IXL. Professional development, because of course, we wouldn't adopt anything that we don't give teachers professional development on. So IXL has a professional learning platform. In the event that we decide to adopt this software, there are opportunities for us to engage our teachers quickly and efficiently with how to use the software. Additionally, I want to add that I've had several teacher requests and several principal requests to use IXL throughout the district. So what is East Chicago receiving? We have approximately 3,500 students. We will get the software for grades pre-K to 12. The content areas include math, ELA, social studies, science, and Spanish. The subscription term is 3 years. The 3-year breakdown comes out to be a better value than the 1-year breakdown. And of course, we will get professional development. Foundations 1 and 2 will be virtual. There'll be some live PD for teachers and an analytics PD for school leaders that can be delivered virtual or live. We have already tried to secure some dates and pencil in the event that we're able to move forward. So there is a cost breakdown, and Ryan was going to explain the cost breakdown to you. We have bartered and bargained with them to make sure that we are getting the best possible price for our district. They will tell you that we have had a hard no at some point, and we've come back to them. And because our teachers and our staff really would like to use IXL with their students for supplemental purposes, because we plan to use it for after-school tutoring, summer programming, the fall Saturday school programming, if and when we have that, IXL will give us another metric and diagnostic for assessing our students and their growth. So the price breakdown regularly is about $20 per license. They're going to give us IXL at $11.10 per license. We have some outstanding credits for IXL, and they factored those, about $6,000, into the pricing, because we would have a credit from our usage at Block and East Chicago Central. Let's see. For the first year, science, social studies, and Spanish would be free. So that's added value. And the professional development is free. So generally, there's a per conference cost or per session cost. They're going to give it to us for free. And that is because ultimately we're getting about 22% off of the regular price. We've come back to them with, this is an urban district and we have needs that might be a little greater than some other districts. They've said to us, we would like to work with you and partner with you and allow you to use our program as much as possible because we want to see your students grow. So there is the IXL presentation. There's also a payment plan, should that be necessary. They've given us options for how to make sure that we are able to partner with them. Thank you for your time this evening. Any questions?
Miss, good. So I just want to know, what does it look like? So are there worksheets? Are there interactive, how does
It's
that work?
interactive content. It is interactive content.
So then,
they have an opportunity if they need to download some worksheets, they can, but it is interactive content and it's adaptable. So like iStep is iLearn is adaptable. They're going to have an opportunity to increase the rigor in the question items for students as they go along because it's adaptable. And that's part of the reason why it's so well aligned with iLearn, because of the adaptability.
I guess because, and if you can help me understand, so every child is going to have their own,
Mm-hmm.
and then adaptable is saying like on my computer I'm doing this, or
It's individualized. A lot of those the softwares that are adaptable usually have something called artificial intelligence with them. So it's individualized to the student. So the student will have their login, and the teacher will have an opportunity to give a diagnostic to see where the student, needs more skill practice or where they can move on to enrichment. It will adapt and get harder or easier based on the struggle that it detects the student is going through. So that's what that means.
and from one of our always here community members, she always says, "Inspect what you expect." So expectation is
That we have several reports for monitoring, and that was one of our big deals. How will we monitor this? Because we want to make sure that we're inspecting what we expect. So principals will get PD on how to effectively monitor what teachers and students are doing, because they're going to want to see where their students are making growth and be able to help have those data conversations with teachers to be able to say, this is where we need to be going. So this will give them another metric for triangulating our data.
so as a board, we're gonna get this information of we were here at this point. This has helped us because of what? Is that what we're saying?
Absolutely.
When are we able to see, the first? I guess because we've never seen anything for the IXL or as of yet for the high school. So when are we going to be able to see?
So feasibly, we can see data after the summer program. This summer,
Okay.
we should be able to look at data. We will have used it for, our program is scheduled to run 6 weeks, and teachers will have this opportunity to use it. So we will be able to see data, run reports at the moment we have data matriculated into that program.
And since we do have it, can we receive some type of data from what we do have at the high school now? And then my own last thing for the PD, it's all PD regarding IXL, not just like, let's say, well, we noticed that this amount of students are behind on this, and it's probably because of X, Y, and Z problem. It's just anything regarding the program and how that's correct.
Right, this is regarding the program and how it can, and what they can do.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
in alignment with the chairman, chairwoman just mentioned, do you have an expectation of what growth looks like in terms of year one, 5%, year two, 10%?
So those are metrics that we set really with building principals based on their baseline data at the beginning of whatever the session is. So what we would do is sit down with them and look at their data. So they take a diagnostic coming into summer school. We look at the data on what growth would be expected. And then from that goal that we set then we would be able to assess it at the end of the summer program.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next for a presentation, we will have our Career Technical Education Director, Ms. Marin Lee.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Marin Lee, and I'm the Director of CTE and Adult Education here at East Chicago Central High School. I first wanted to thank Ms. Wright and Ms. Goods and the school board for allowing me to present tonight and sharing some exciting things that we've been doing this year and kind of where our program hopefully will be heading to. So thank you for this opportunity to share with you all tonight. I also first wanted to shout out our teachers This year has been so difficult for teachers, and especially our CTE teachers. As you'll see, so much of our content is hands-on, so it has been hard for them to get that content taught in a virtual setting. So our teachers have been very creative and have worked very hard this year with trying to get that all, done this school year. So what is CTE? CTE stands for Career and Technical Education. The goal of CTE is for students to become college and or career ready. So whatever our students' goal is, whether it is going to college, whether it's a 4-year, 2-year college, going off to a trade, or going into the workforce, we want to get those students prepared with our CTE program. So CTE works for not only our students, which you'll see throughout this presentation, but also our economy and local businesses as well. We are also fully funded through Perkins. So we have a grant that fully funds CTE for the most part. And that's where a lot of our purchasing comes from, is through that Perkins grant. So some of the benefits of CTE, CTE provides a hands-on experience for our students. It also helps them gain real-life experiences, as you can see in our pictures. These are all some of these are from last year, so we do practice social distancing. But some of these are from previous school years, so that's why you might see no masks. But students are gaining real-life experience and hands-on experiences. We also offer dual credit opportunities, so students might earn college credit in some of our classes. So we have partnerships with IU Bloomington, Ivy Tech, and Vincennes University. We also have different certification opportunities available for our students. So this might be our CNA certification, ServSafe is another example, our pharmacy tech certification. So those are different tests that students can take at the end of the school year. This also helps students get an additional graduation pathway. So our CTE opportunities help students graduate. For example, if they are not able to pass that ISTEP or that ASVAB exam, they can use these pathways in order to help them graduate. And we can see, I know the statistic is a couple years old, but the Department of Education has shown that 94% of Indiana CTE high school students graduate. So we know that that's a little bit higher probably than the Indiana graduation rate. So this is a way that we want to keep our students, or helps keep our students in school. So where are we right now at East Chicago Central High School? We have over 10 different pathways that help students graduate, and we are working to add more in. We currently are offering 29 different CTE classes within our department. We offer, so 12 of those classes are dual credit. Like I said, we have partnerships with a few post-secondary institutions. Speaking of graduation, I won't get too in depth with this because it's a little confusing, but our current juniors and seniors use Perkins 4 or Perkins 5 graduation requirements, and then our freshmen and sophomore use Perkins 5. Our incoming freshmen, so our students who will be with us next school year, will use something new that's come out, which is called Next Level Programs of Study. So this is something that we're going to be slowly transitioning to over the next couple school years, over the next couple years. On this year's report, so we do reporting every fall and spring, we had students taking a total of 957 CTE credits. So our CTE programs are very popular. A lot of those kids were taking credits this school year. So what are some of the benefits? Oh wait, all right, I already did that one, sorry. So this school year, what's been going on this school year? We started the school year in person due to state requirements. So we are under the Governor's Workforce Cabinet. All other classes are under the Indiana Department of Education. We are under the Governor's Workforce Cabinet, so we're under a little bit of different jurisdiction than all the other classes. So we were required to meet in person at the beginning of this school year, and then COVID got a little worse, but we got back in person, which is good. So we've been trying to do our best with students. We've had a lot of virtual field trips, virtual guest speakers, and things like that. Normally we hold a CTE fair every school year, We did that virtually, so I created a virtual CTE fair through Canvas. So had to be a little creative with that. That's a way for us to get information we target freshmen to get information out to students about what programs we have at Central. We also hold 2 advisory board meetings per school year. We actually had our second one today, this afternoon. So we have advisory board members from outside in the community to sit in and give us some insight about what's going on in their industries and hear about what's going on within our high school. We also had a reality store experience, which helped with financial literacy. So that was a guest speaker that came in and taught about our students about budgeting, which was very insightful. We were awarded a tutoring fellowship grant. Most of our student tutors who are tutoring after school with us are CTE students, and I'm trying to get them to become teachers because they've all been great. But they are helping, or that's helping our students with that service-based learning component of graduation requirements. We've also gotten new equipment for Project Lead the Way, or PLTW. We've gotten new 3D printers and a new laser cutter. We've received or purchased new computers for our graphic design program. So they've been learning how to do Adobe and things like that. So that's been really great for those students. We also, with the help of district administration, we're able to get our maker space. It's been so cool to see those students in that space as well. We had a CTE student actually write an article about our maker space with the Great News Life. So that was a great article to see by one of our CTE students. And then we have work-based learning opportunities this year for our CNA students. That should say CNA, not CAN. Our CNA students, they're starting their clinicals on Monday. Our early childhood education students, we've had to get a little creative. They have been working with 2 classrooms at Lincoln virtually. So they've been doing the virtual teaching and virtual lessons. I'm hoping they are getting more appreciation for what teachers are dealing with this year. And then our pharmacy tech students have started their internships through Walgreens. So that's been nice for them to get out into the community. So where are we headed? Next school year, we are looking to add 6 new CTE classes. And this is going to help us complete pathways for Perkins 5. So our advanced accounting class, that's going to complete that accounting pathway for students. We are going to be switching over from early childhood to education professions so that we can reach a broader audience of students who want to become teachers. A lot of our students want to get into like high school teaching and stuff, so early childhood kind of limited that. So we're going to broaden that to offer education professions. Computer Science 2 is going to be a new class, and also a new PLTW class, which is Project Lead the Way, which is digital electronics. So both of those are going to help with our STEM integration within our classrooms. We also are going to be offering Fire and Rescue 2, which will complete that pathway. And then our criminal justice, which is going to be a new pathway. So we're really excited about that. Currently, we have a cohort of students. They're all girls. They've been great. They've been working with the East Chicago Police Department, meeting during their student resource time twice a month, like on their own. They're not getting credit, but they've been super excited about working with that. So that's been really, really great for our students. They're learning all about different careers and what it takes to work in law enforcement. So another couple things of where I have goals for our program. I would really like to incorporate more career exploration at the elementary and middle school levels. I think that it is so important to expose students early on and let kids know that these are your opportunities, and that will hopefully create that pipeline from elementary to middle school to high school and then beyond. I would also like us to incorporate more work-based learning opportunities. So getting students out into the community working, getting hands-on skills, doing internships, apprenticeships, job shadowing, things like that, because that really opens the door for students to learn about what a job really entails. For example, some of our CNA students, when they get out into the nursing home, they realize that they hate it. So this gives them an opportunity to see, okay, this is for me, or maybe this is not for me. I also would love to add more pathways to meet those high skill, high wage, high demand jobs within Northwest Indiana. And then, like I said, we're going to be moving towards those next level programs of study, which is going to be requirements for our incoming eighth graders. So just really want to, beef up our CTE program. I think we have a great program right now, but I see that we have ways that we could grow and improve within our district. So this is my contact information. If anyone ever wants to guest speak, or if you want to be on our advisory board, we'd love to hear from you. We also are on Facebook, so you can find us on Facebook and check out what we're doing within our CTE department. Is there any questions? Thank you very much.
Excuse me, I did have one question.
Oh, yeah.
Are you partnering with Ivy Tech?
So we do have partnerships with Ivy Tech. We have dual credit opportunities with Ivy Tech, yes. Yep.
Ms. Lee, I first off just want to commend the CTE program. Out of my 5 years being on the board, from my year one to see where our principal now, A. Brown, has taken this program, as well as what you have also brought in. It's amazing. When you go down to these conferences, one of the things they do tell you is career pathways and what are you doing to expose children from your career pathways. And I mean, goals I would love to see. I think I've talked to Ms. Superintendent Wright about that, Carrie Gosh, and making it where we change it up and have our machineries come in there. I know at one point, the Principal Brown also said about hair and all that, beauticians, and I think that's so many opportunities that we could definitely bring, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I do have one thing that we need to do is we need to tell the community that believe that we don't have this, that this is here. I'm going to be honest. I ended up, for my son, I was looking at classes for him to take, and I didn't even know, and I'm on the school board, everything with PLCW, like what classes you're able to take. And I think we need to do a better job of marketing the good that we have. These are all programs that we have within our school district, and people really don't know that this is happening. And we have to just be more vocal of the good. I remember Mr. Principal Brown, he said that our CNA group ended up having like a mentorship with doctors.
Yes.
And they ended up they wanted to do extra outside because they were so excited because our kids were so good, and things like that. I would love to just try to expose to that, to expose the community to see the good that there is.
Yeah.
And just since people might be watching, if a child's interested in participating in this, what and how can they do?
So thank you for your comments. I would love to have our very own career center someday. That would be awesome. And I think that it would be so beneficial for our students. And yes, I think that we could do a better job of marketing. I did just start our Facebook this school year, and then our website is updated. So there is stuff out there, but yes, getting the word out there to parents and the community is definitely important. So, but if students are interested in taking any of our CTE classes, I encourage them to talk to their counselor, or they can email me. So I'm happy to answer any student or parent questions about, the pathways or the classes or anything like that. If students also want to talk to any of our CTE teachers, if they're in the building, or if they just send them an email and say, hey, we're interested. I also, not to totally go off topic, but the s'more thing that we've had this school year, so if you go to our website, it all links to a s'more page with like career information and videos and pictures and things like that. And students can email me through that too. So there's ways to get to me. But yeah, talk to their guidance counselor as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Madam President, I do have one question with
Sure.
regards to CT. You mentioned earlier that you would like to see some higher pathways possibly implemented in the future. Can you give me maybe one or two examples of those higher pathways?
So I know that Ms. Goods and I have kind of been working on talking about increasing our manufacturing pathway. That's a big thing right now in Northwest Indiana. And that's something that is high skill, high demand, high wage within our local area. So that's definitely something that I could see us, getting into and growing in. And then I would say anything within STEM. So like cybersecurity, networking, anything like that. Those are really big fields. They're also funded very high for CTE because all the classes are broken down by funding level. So anything within those STEM related careers is something that I think we need to get more of.
If we ask one more thing, I commend you for the speakers that come in. They're all, most of them, a lot of them are former East Chicago students. And for students to be able to see, people who sat in their classrooms, I think that speaks volumes to those kids and lets them see I could be there in that position eventually. So I think that's great too.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say thank you for the presentation. I've heard about the CET program. I knew a little bit about it, but for you to come to the forefront and actually show us exactly what the program is about, and if there's anything that I can do to help you get other professions in, I don't have a problem.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Anytime anyone wants to come visit post-COVID, to see what we have at our school, I'm more than happy to show you guys around, especially that new maker space, which is a really cool lab space for our students. So. Okay, well, thank you once again. And I appreciate the invitation to come speak tonight and appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you. We'll now move to the business portion of the meeting.
Yes, I would like to make a amendment to the agenda. I would like to add the agenda item, retirement of funds and disaster loan refund.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
A second.
Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Diane, Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Our first item of business is approval of minutes. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
I'm going to ask if we could have this removed from tonight's agenda. I was going through the minutes. I found about 10 errors in there. I spoke with the superintendent about this, and I want to have further discussion about this. If it would be okay, I'd like to ask for this to be removed from the minutes, tonight's business portion.
There's a motion on the floor to remove this item. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. And this is the removal.
Yes, item number 1.
Okay. Well, yeah, I just wanted to know, since we're gonna bring it back up eventually, is it a different wording that we wanna use, or just remove it?
No,
in
that's
total?
fine. If you want to remove it, you can remove it. You can take no action on it.
Okay.
But that's just it's fine.
Are there any questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item number 2, approval of distribution of payroll. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President,
Trustee Rodriguez,
I'll make a motion to approve.
he makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
thank you. On item number 2, I was just going to ask if we could add salaries to these positions in the future. I'm okay with this as it stands, but some of these positions are just bunched together without, at least I don't have an idea of what, I'm sorry, maybe I'm on the wrong item. I'm sorry, I meant under the description, some of these items
Is that for the distribution of payroll?
Just a minute, let me go back to this note I'm sorry, that's for the next item. I apologize.
Are there any other questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Item number 3, approval of claim docket. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President, this is the item I had an issue with. Under the discussion of some of these items, there's not enough information on there. Item 108179 is an example of that, and I think you'll find that on page 10, near the top. I have no idea what that is. That item is 108179. So if we could get more information in the future, in that discussion column, I'd appreciate it.
What is the pleasure of the board?
There was a motion.
I'm sorry. Any other questions? He said he would like to have more detail, because item 108179,
Correct.
he just asked to have more detail for items. Did you already discuss with, the CFO about the item by chance?
I did not. In the future, if we could just expand on the description.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it seems like they shrunk the description and then you have all that space on the right, so if they can just add a little bit more information.
Would you like to have her explain what that is? Because I did ask about that, and she
Oh, did you?
actually, she sent me the information, so
Okay. Yeah, if we could get, I guess while we're on it, yeah, if we could discuss that item 108179.
Ms. Simmons?
It's on page 10.
So I have that, and it's an upgrade to the electric wiring in the fitness center at CHS.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item number 4, approval of personnel report. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
thank you. This is the item I was referring to about adding salaries to the positions here.
That's just a request to the superintendent.
There's a number of positions that are listed here. Pretty much up and down the line. You could start on page 2 and just any of these positions. I was curious what the salary was. If these are all the same, are these salaries or these stipends? I'm not sure how this is run.
Oh, these are the ECAs. They're part of the CBAs, extracurricular activities. So these are the board approved, these are the CBA approved ECAs for teachers.
What is the salaries for these?
I think they may range from anywhere from 200 to 300. I think the 1,400. Yes.
Okay. If in the future we could add the salaries, I
Okay,
appreciate
sure.
it.
Any other questions?
Madam President?
William?
Superintendent Wright, I was just, my question or concern, not necessarily concern, but my question was with these ECAs and these jobs with us somewhat in a capacity of COVID protocol, are some of these programs are happening? I know for years some of these things have not taken place within our district. Are these things are all taking place, and who's adding uh, ECAs to the personnel report? Is it the building principals in each building for these ECAs? Are they happening at each building, or are they only happening at the high school?
Go ahead, Mr. Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah, those go across the district. And the principals recommend the teachers, and then we scrub the list. Ms. Goods and I take care of that. So there were quite a few ECAs that were not accomplished this year because of COVID.
Okay.
These have, artifacts, documentation that they were completed, so.
So
Usually, the ECA should be approved in the fall,
that was
once the contract is.
that was my next question.
Yeah.
So we're approving this with all these ECAs already being completed or taking
Or they,
place
or they will be completed by May 28th.
by the end of the school year. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
So we're taking attendance. We know the amount of students that's participating.
Right.
Okay. Are we with students being back in school, are we encouraging these extracurricular activities as much as possible due to the fact that some of these kids want this interaction, and I'm glad to see this starting to take place. What about the other schools? I know I see Central on here quite a bit. I know I see McKinley and Harrison, a couple different schools, but there are some schools that's not having extracurricular ECAs. Are we encouraging them from our administrative standpoint, encouraging them to do this, to bring our kids back? I'm sorry.
There was a couple of schools that had no ECA activity. It just, this was a crazy year.
Yes.
I'm sure that next year we'll be encouraging all of the students and all of the teachers to participate. There were some schools that had no activity because of the nature of the ECA and COVID. It was kind of a collision, so they didn't do anything.
I do have to say that the kids are online doing their Zoom meetings, and fundraisers are actually happening online. I've seen teachers do fundraising where you could buy tickets for this and that. I don't believe that we have as many ECAs in our elementary schools as we definitely do at the high schools. And it's probably harder for them to partake in ECAs after hours, I would assume, because it's hard for them to get online and so forth and so on. Just to add. Any other questions regarding personnel? Ms. Bingham, roll call.
Yes.
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 No. Item number 5, approval of healthy food service grant. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve healthy food service grant.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
I'll second that motion.
Trustee, Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee?
thank you. On page 7 of this, of the contract, letter B, notices of the grantee shall be sent to, I'm not familiar with who this person is. Okay, it's listed as finance officer. Thank you.
Superintendent Wright, I just wanted to know, just for the record, I know, just to explain what this actually is. Thank you. Any other questions?
I think that's a part of, the General Assembly, that state with the Healthy Food Act. I think they've been fighting that for a while, and it's just coming to fruition, and I hear it.
Any other questions?
And President, just one other one.
Go ahead.
On the follow-up, where is this going to be held at? What building are we referring to? Block, okay.
Any other questions? Mr. roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Item number 6, and that is the approval of Solution Tree Inc. contract superintendent.
Yes, I'm requesting approval of the contract for Solution Tree. Solution Tree will provide services on August 9th. Dr. Anthony Muhammad will conduct a all-day conference on overcoming the achievement gap. He was the gentleman that wrote that book that I gave to the board and I referenced in our War on the Achievement Gap. So he's going to be coming into the district August 9th, which is our very first day of school, as our kickoff.
Thank you. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
A second.
Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
on page 2, this is for Attorney Harris. Section 5, general terms 5.2. So if somehow this event, yeah, please, thank you.
So this force majeure clause is a clause that I added to the district's kind of standard form of agreements. I didn't draft this agreement, this was supplied by them, but it's good that they included it. What it basically means is if there's any circumstance that comes up that's out of the control of either party, they won't be held responsible for fulfilling the obligations under the agreement. So whether it's a natural disaster, pandemic, COVID really spikes up, and if there's some travel restrictions, then we won't hold them responsible for being in breach of contract because we can't get here due to COVID out of this control.
Okay, great, thank you.
Madam President,
Trustee Williams.
I was gonna ask you the same, not necessarily for that particular one, but this contract was reviewed.
I did.
Any other questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item number 7, approval of Block Middle School's iReady math curriculum. Superintendent Wright.
Ms. Goods?
So currently, Block Middle School uses our iReady program for diagnostic purposes and intervention purposes, but they do not have the full complement of the course, the textbook. So what we're proposing is that we adopt the textbook in order for them to be able to continue the continuum of mastery that students begin in elementary school. So this gives us a succinct program from grades K to 8 using the iReady program, which we know in mathematics has an 88% correlation with the iLearn exam. So just after them using their content, they've used it for the last 5 years, and coming up with, at this point, it is time to make sure that we have a complete program so that students can get the full effectiveness of the program. So that will just be an adoption of iReady for Block Middle School.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
page 2, again, well, let me just refer to Superintendent. This shows us copyright of 2017 for these books. Are these the most current ones available?
Yes.
Any other questions? Ms. Bigum? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Line Academy Summer School Program.
Ms.
Superintendent.
Goods?
Because our students have had multiple opportunities, well, have had a year full of trauma and limited opportunities during the school year after having to deal with COVID, we feel like this summer we should maximize our opportunities for credit recovery. So we are asking to offer Indiana online courses in addition to our summer program that we will provide for students in-house or in district for the school city of East Chicago. So we want to partner with Indiana Online Academy and allow them to take classes, and they can take them over a 7-week period. The content from those classes are delivered by a highly qualified teacher who is licensed in the area, and some of those classes are even dual credit opportunities, classes that they may not necessarily be able to get throughout the summer here in district, but it gives them an additional opportunity to earn credits.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make a motion to
Yes.
approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
A second.
Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
I'm not clear on how this program works, so I've got to ask, this is not something we can use our own teachers for?
We will be providing content or delivering content this summer as well. And we do have our own teachers, but in some cases, there may be dual credit opportunities that our teachers may not provide during the school year anyway. And there are also opportunities for them to take additional elective classes that we may not have someone to sign up for. So what it is it's just an additional opportunity and allows them to be completely virtual. And we partner with Indiana Online throughout the school year to offer courses that are really hard to get a teacher to service.
Okay, and it's just, as a follow-up then, did I hear you correctly? Some of our teachers will be doing this?
Some of our teachers will also be teaching in our summer program, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So it won't be taking away opportunities.
Okay, that's what I was going after. Thank you.
Madam President,
Trustee Williams.
I know we offered this program quite a bit or at some particular time, in the past. Um, I don't know if we got any data in regards to, we've had some kids that know that this was an opportunity for them and they did a lot of cramming at the last minute to try to make up some credits. Have we learned from that in the past in regards to offering this, and some kids just opt that I'm going to do a credit and I'm going to do it all online and I don't have to be in school?
So, Ms. Goods, I know what he's
Am
talking
I
about.
right?
Okay, you're right,
Okay.
you're right. So he's talking about a couple years ago, we had some issues with credit recovery. And in those last few years, we have corrected that problem. What was happening was that kids were just opting out of regular instruction and they were going straight to credit recovery. So credit recovery is now the counselors require the kids, the parent, and the teacher to sign a contract or sign a enrollment slip. And that enrollment slip kind of monitors whether that kid is eligible or not for that course. So yes, we have tightened that up greatly.
But I will also tell you, in addition to that, the Indiana Online Academy requires that the students have done so much work at a certain point, or they're going to automatically withdraw them and not charge them for the course, I think, after the first 2 weeks. So they have a withdrawal policy. I can say that my own child has done a class on Indiana Online Academy so that I could see, just how it goes. And there's a teacher calling, emailing, and trying to get in touch with the parent if the child has not completed something up until a point.
So, Mr. Williams, this is a different course. You're talking about Edgenuity. This is a different program. Yes, and this is also offered as part of our GEAR grant. Our GEAR grant that they gave us when they gave us the $900,000 and they gave us so many scholarships for our kids.
Yes.
This is that part of that program.
Okay.
So with that being said, none of our children are gonna get, they can take as many classes as they want, none of them are gonna get charged. Or how does that work?
So
But
when you
I know at Hammond, it was, you could take one class and then you have to pay like $50 for another class, so I don't know.
It's free. It's free for us.
completely.
there's now a program where it's free to the kids.
Miss Goods, same thing with in Hammond. One thing that I was here in East Chicago when Mr. Williams said that they kind of did all the testing, all that online. One thing I did like about Hammond was that when you took a test and you took a final, you had to come in the building and take your test and final online so you could know who was actually. Is that what we're
Absolutely.
geared towards doing?
Yes.
No, that's what we do. We do that.
So and then,
Yes.
but it had to be, our employee had to be from the school city of Hammond. So we're gonna hire somebody to oversee that
So
too.
we'll have summer school in session, and so we'll just keep somebody over that deals
That
with
program.
virtual, and they can oversee that. I do know that this year, due to COVID, they may be having them do alternative assessments for their final exam. So they may not have to come in. It may be some project or something where they're demonstrating their learning a different way, so that they can just minimize cheating or anything that might be inconsistent.
Any other questions?
President,
Trustee Rodriguez?
just one question with regards to each student. So this will be a 7-week course and they could only take, or 7 weeks, they could only take 2 courses maximum, correct?
Yes. Yes. Through Indiana Online Academy, yes.
Yes.
They will only allow 2 at a time.
Do we have, and I know, just thinking about our English learners, do they have like curriculum where you're able to have it change into Spanish if need be?
They do. I do believe Indiana Online does. That was something that I think one of my counselors brought to my attention.
If you could just get us that information,
I
that would be
will.
great. Any-
I know in the memo that was attached to the actual partnership agreement, it gave for the summer sessions, with 2021 dates, but this goes through the 2023 school year, right?
The contract would go through the 2023 school year probably, but they have until, it's like mid-July, second week of July to complete the course.
You know, I just put the contract,
Oh, yeah.
that I just want the trustees
Oh.
to be aware.
And I do have one more question.
Yes, go ahead.
Ms. Goods, with regards to the type of courses, is that something that could be added to as far as a list of courses that's available?
We can get you I can get you a list of courses, yes.
And with that being said, I did read, I think I read it. No, I did read that even if they were on vacation, they can still take this course, okay?
Yeah.
Because, you know, some parents have scheduled vacations, and a child might want to.
Absolutely,
Thank
Ms. Smith.
I did read that in here,
You
right?
did read that, and so when I tell you my son took a class, we were traveling back and forth all summer for basketball, and he continued to take that class.
Any other questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item number 9, approval of IXL contract, superintendent.
It's good. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you to stay.
Yeah, you might as well. Chair.
I was actually writing down course list, and I think there's
I got
something.
it, I have it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. So IXL program is going to, the purpose for our School City East Chicago, we'd like to use it for supplemental instruction, to be able to give a diagnostic, pre-test, post-test, be able to measure growth with students, for teachers to have an additional resource in their backpack of resources to work with students. One that is going to be measurable, one that is going to be adaptable, and one that is going to align with the Indiana academic standards and mirror the assessment that they will take annually.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Rodriguez.
so this is also a 3-year contract.
Yes.
And I just want to mention that we're paying for this out of the CARES Act. This will be funded out of the CARES Act.
Any other questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
just how do students get enrolled in this program?
Well, what's going to have to happen when we send them the signed contract, we'll have Skyward send them the rosters to IXL, and then the kids can log in. Once they get a password and a user ID, then they can log in. But we have to first send them the rosters of all our kids first.
Any other questions? Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
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 Yes. Next, we will have approval of the device plan recommendation.
Yes. So we are, Mr. Octaveras presented at the work session our plan for the fall, our technology plan. And he also, in his presentation, he mentioned that our pre-K and K students will receive devices for both home and school. Our grades 1 through 6 will also receive a device from home and school. And our 7th through 12th graders will receive one device that they will have to transport back and forth to school. This is our initiative to improve the technology in our district. So I'm asking for approval of the plan.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Any questions?
Just one question.
Trustee Rodriguez, go ahead.
Which plan are we going with? I'm sorry.
It was Plan D.
Plan D? Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions? Ms. Bingham, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next, we will have approval of interactive board recommendation.
Yes, I'm asking for approval for the interactive boards for teachers' classrooms. We will replace and install new interactive boards in the district. The new boards will replace all the current boards that we have, and we're going to also add a few boards to classrooms that do not have one. So I'm asking for approval of the interactive boards.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Ms. Wright, could you just please expound on, for those who don't know what the boards are?
Oh, interactive boards, AKA, we used to call them Promethean boards, but they're not called Promethean boards now because they're interactive. Example of a board would be one of those large screen boards that we would roll into the boardroom to have our board meetings. That's what we mean by interactive board. The one we used yesterday, yes.
What is the I'm sorry. Any other questions? Ms. Bingham, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item number 12, approval of Chromebook bag recommendation, superintendent.
Yes, also at the work session, we showed you all the Chromebook bag where the students are going to carry their Chromebooks in. Only for grades 2 through 12. Once again, the pre-K and the K students will receive iPads. So I'm asking for approval of the Chrome bag for students.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President,
I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Bingham, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item number 13, approval of JWF Specialty Company, Inc. Administrative Service Agreement, Superintendent.
Leila?
This is our workman's comp company that does all of our workman's comp claims, also handle all of the paperwork as far as doctor visits. And this is contract is for 1 year and it's continuous. We renew it every year.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
this is for 40,000, is that correct? This shows the start date of January 2020. Attorney Harris?
I was going to make a comment. I noticed that, so I can't tell if it's a typo where they meant to put January 2021 through the end of the year.
Through
or if
December
they-
31st.
December 2021. I don't know what their intent was, but I noticed the same thing. I do know though, I've spoken to Ms. Simmons about this, and this is intended to be a renewal of an annual agreement currently with but it's a good question. I think it might be a typo, or is what Ms. Simmons described that it didn't get signed last year and they're going to cover the
So can we, Madam President,
Williams.
so can we approve this on the contingents of finding out if it's the contract from for 2 years or for the 1 year 2021? Is that possible, Attorney Harris?
And I would assume that you would want to approve it either way, as you want to cover the period that they've already provided the service, and you want it to cover through the end of the year. So I don't know whether it'll make a difference for you one way or the other. It might. You definitely want some clarification.
So is that what, I guess you would like to change the motion to be approval of the JWF Specialty Company Inc. Administrative Service Agreement pending, clarification of the dates on the agreement?
No.
Contingent?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
You want that detail reported back to the board, but you still need, and let's assume the scenario is true that we didn't get a signed contract for 2020. State board's gonna require you to have approved for 2022. You need the approval because they've already provided the service anyway. So I don't think it should be a contingency. You just need to report back to the next meeting so that's clear. The expiration date would be the December 31st, 2021. That's the date.
No matter what.
No matter what.
Okay. So we're good. We just need, I guess we're in a roll call.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes.
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 Yes. Next, we'll have the approval of recommendation to change approval. What? oh. Approval of recommendation to change approval of hot water vendor at Block. Okay, I read it wrong. All right, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
I second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
just as a thought, again, back to Attorney Harris, what, would Gatlin have an opportunity to come back at the board for approving them and then pull it?
So what I would work with Ms. Simmons on is sending them a notice revoking the support.
Yeah.
May have already done.
What?
They never got a notice of award to begin with.
And I'm only coming back that the board did approve it though, and so,
To go with the next lowest, most responsive bidder. If the board approves that. Notice to revoke support. That's clear.
okay, I'm confused. So we're giving someone else the job. But in here it says we have not received this information. How would you?
Any other questions? Ms. Brigham, roll call.
I do
Oh,
have
I'm sorry, trustee Rodriguez.
Yeah, I do have a question with regards to this. So if the awarded bidder never received any information regarding the award of the bid, how would you expect them to respond to you anyways if they've never received any information with regards to whether they won or not?
It sounds like they never received
Okay,
it.
okay, gotcha.
So we, just to not get too far off track, we may want to look at the procedure for
Any other questions? Ms. Brigham, roll call, please.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Next, we have approval of the drug and alcohol testing contract, Superintendent.
Yes, I'm requesting approval for the, the drug and alcohol testing agreement for all of transportation workers.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval. Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions? I do have a question. So I know on the claim docket, we saw people who had, drug testing done. Is this from this company? So with that being said, is there a reason why the whole district, and I think you kind of mentioned the whole district will be under this company? So then, this is the approval, not just for transportation, but it's for everyone? So what are we approving today? Just transportation? Everyone?
So it would have to be separate for other administration,
So the superintendent saying just the
just
transportation?
for transportation.
The agreement I have, submitted today is just transportation.
So, but in the agreement, it doesn't. Yeah, 'cause- so on here it says for the school city of East Chicago, but then now the amounts would have to change. Is that what we're saying, that if it is for the entire district? So then it is not the approval of just for transportation, it's for the school district then, is what we're asking for? Since it says on here the school city of East Chicago. And it's the same pricing. Am I correct or am I wrong? So that we. So Superintendent, would you rather just approve the entire for district, since we have the wording for the district, or would you still rather just have for the transportation, even though the wording's not for transportation?
I would say the entire district, we don't have any more, contracts.
So the agreement as it's
Yes,
presented to the
yes,
board
yes.
does cover the full district.
Yes.
Okay. So then the approval is for the drug and alcohol testing contract for the entire district, so if we make sure we make note of that. Are there any other questions? Ms. Brigham, roll call, please.
Yes.
Gomez,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Next, we move to approval of mobile market requests for use of parking lot. Superintendent.
Yes, I'm requesting approval for the mobile market to use parking lots at the various schools to distribute foods to the community. Rather than they submit a request once a month, they just decided that they would submit one request for various schools. So I believe it's 4 dates. They have provided liability insurance, and they will come as they normally do and distribute food to the community on a first come, first served basis. If you haven't been past one of the mobile market food giveaways, it's quite a bit of food, and the community comes out regularly to participate in this food giveaway.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President.
Trustee Gomez.
Um, I just would like to see, if possible, something move one of these dates or one of the visits to be made to the McKinley School, just so that they covered the south side of the city as well. It looks like they covered the north side pretty well, but I think the south side could use a visit over there as well.
Trustee Gomez, just to add to that, so the mobile market, what they do is they call the contact person and they tell them that this is a facility that they would actually like, because they contacted myself for the Parks and Recreation Department. So they are actually going to use some of the community centers and recreation centers to do mobile markets also. So they kind of give you what they would like to use, and then we in turn say, okay, yes or no. It's also based off the traffic and how they control the traffic, since they don't pay for anyone to control traffic. So again, I don't think it's really our choice. While we would like to make suggestions, it's more so what they.
It's just a suggestion.
Yeah, it was actually, it was brought up by me too, but there's no traffic coordination over there at McKinney. They have really a small area for pickup, and the way that these cars come in, they do come in pretty much, so.
So I know the sponsor pretty well. She calls me regularly. So I will call her tomorrow and ask if we can schedule one at McKinley or Harrison. And the worst thing she could say is no, but I'll call tomorrow and make sure that I ask. And maybe at the next board meeting, we can add McKinley or Harrison to the list.
That's fine. Thank you.
Question?
It's gonna be put on the website.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. They provide us with flyers. They always provide us with flyers.
Any other questions? Ms. Bingham, roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Next, we'll have the approval of Central High School fundraisers.
Yes, I'm asking for approval of the fundraisers for East Chicago Central High School, the 3 fundraisers.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval of Central High School fundraiser.
Trustee Williams makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
just as a procedural issue, page 3 does not have the AD's signature on there. I'm not sure if that would be required, but just the difference between these 3 applications.
Well, Miss Lee is usually is the sponsor over all the field trips. I mean, all the fundraisers. So she'll make sure that she gets that signature for me. And so all the teachers are required to submit the fundraisers to her, and she forwards those to me. So she's mainly the overseer of the fundraisers. So we'll get that for you.
Trustee Gomez, the reason why there's no signature from athletic director, because this is the speech and debate club. It's not from the athletic department, so there's probably no need for that to happen. The other ones are actual athletic, so that's why there's an athletic signature along with Miss Lee. So that's probably the reason why. I do have a question though. We Inkwell, there's no description to the fundraiser. It just says We Inkwell. I'm assuming it's t-shirts or masks. And then for my concern with the speech and debate club, so because of the comments that are on there about the item being from the previous year, have we physically seen the date of expiration for sale? It's the candy bars, cookie dough tubs. Which I understand, but I just don't want us to be selling expired items. So I do ask that we actually change that motion to make sure that the items are not expired. I know we don't want to sell expired items. So if that's okay with Trustee Williams, if we could change the motion for approval of Central High School fundraisers with fundraiser for the speech and debate club to show Ms. Lee that there's not expired item.
I'll be willing to change that motion.
And Trustee Smith, is that okay with you also? Any other questions?
I just have a question. So
Let's
how
hear
would, say if somebody like me would be interested in getting a t-shirt, or how do we do that? Would it be here?
Contact the sponsor, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Any other questions? Ms. Fagan, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next, we will have superintendent remarks.
No, item number 18.
I'm sorry, item number 18, retirement of funds.
18.
Retirement of funds. Is it,
Leela?
what is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Second.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval. Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Rodriguez.
from our last discussion at our finance meeting, this was actually brought to our attention as well. So we reviewed each line item one by one with any questions myself and Trustee Williams had.
Thank you.
Just wanted to note that for the record.
Any other questions? Ms. Bigum.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next, we'll now have a superintendent's remarks.
Yes. So here's a few updates on what's happening at the high school. I met with Ms. Goods and Mr. Brown and the high school sponsor. We all met last week, I believe it was, and we kind of wrapped up what's going to happen for our high school students at the end of the school year. So we also contacted the East Chicago Health Department, and I want to be clear that these plans are tentative for the end of the year. Should the COVID rates increase, our plans will be adjusted. So as of today, our juniors and seniors will have a prom in the gymnasium. We have made it very clear that the tables will be 6 feet apart. All students will be required to wear a mask, and it would be only our students here in East Chicago. So only our juniors and seniors are allowed to participate in the prom and in the gymnasium, and all tables will be 6 feet apart. Also, graduation commencement will take place June 5th in the gymnasium at 2 p.m. So it will be a Saturday at 2 p.m. Once again, we're going to limit capacity to make sure that we are well within the CDC guidelines. We're going to make sure that students have at least 2 tickets. And again, we're working closely with the East Chicago Health Department. Last year during COVID, we made yard signs for all our seniors, and that was a big hit. We are going to make yard signs again. However, we're not going to take the buses out and deliver the yard signs to the houses. The kids will be required to pick up their yard signs at the same time that they pick up their cap and gowns. Also, something we started last year was the cap and gown pickup. We had the students meet off school hours, and we had music, we had balloons. It was a celebration. So we're going to continue with that tradition, and our students are going to have a cap and gown pickup tentatively May 15th at the high school. That's tentative. So the high school sponsor will give me a confirmed date when he confirmed with the cap and gown distributor. So we want to continue with that tradition. That's it.
That's right. I have a question for the prom. Do you know how many people we have? How many fit in the bottom? I think it's 860. I'm not quite sure for the other gym.
I just know we have a capacity in the gym, about 7,000 people. So,
But that
right, that's seating.
yeah.
So we'll make sure that he goes in. It has to be at least 50% capacity, which we're going to try to make it a little bit less than 50% capacity. And each table has to be each table has to be 6 feet apart. So I don't know what the capacity is on that bottom floor though. But we're not allowing any outside visitors to participate in the prom. It's going to only be our students.
How many students do we have between the junior and senior class together?
Probably 600. Probably 600 students. Yes. No, the 600 students. 600 students combined. We likely have 300 juniors and 300 seniors because we have maybe like 1,200 kids. No outside visitors. No.
So then, would you give us the number of what's actually happening, or are you having a limit as to how many people?
It has to be a limit. Yes, it's going to have to be a limit. So we'll work again with the high school sponsor. Yes. But we just thought that, we just thought that our kids needed something to look forward to. And they're going to practice social distancing, and they're going to have on masks, and we'll make sure that it's a safe event for the kids.
And they're going to sign
Waivers. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Any trustee remarks? I do have a couple. And I wanted to start just by saying that I wanted to send a thank you to our athletic director, Monica Maxwell, who was approved to be non-renewal this evening. And I wanted to thank her for her service to the School City of East Chicago Athletic Department. Coming to our district, she came to us when we were possibly losing our IHSAA membership. And she came into a negative balance in the athletic department budget. You have found ways to expand our sports by adding unified football and track. You have raised our budget in the event that all sports have been able to receive uniforms and extras, as well as we have a fully funded Jumbotron, done all by fundraising. You were also recognized by your peers for the IIAAA as being highly effective a highly effective athletic director. In this four-ish positions, you have put the school city of East Chicago's athletic department back to where it needed to be, and I thank you for that. Next, I wanted to congratulate our newly inducted Honor Society members. On Thursday of last week, we had the Honor Society members from sophomores to seniors that were actually inducted into the service. And I am extremely proud of these students because even though it was a pandemic, they did what they had to do, and they're at the top of their class with their grades, and I'm extremely proud of them and their accomplishments. I would also like to put on record that I would like to see the procedures for hiring as well as procedures for evaluation on paper. I think we have asked on numerous occasions to have those procedures given to us. I would definitely like to see those as well as the rest of the board because we've asked for them. I would also like to see the job descriptions for everyone in our school district prior to the end of the school year 2021. While I understand it's a hard task, but I think it's time that we actually just get it done instead of dancing around. I know it's hard and we have a lot to do, but we still as a board need to know job descriptions. Finally, we've discussed the federal grant funds, and we've talked to community members, we've talked to parents, or we've talked to our superintendent, and they're the ones who said they've talked to the teachers and they've talked to administrators. So we've come up with this plan, but the main people that we haven't heard from is the students. So Superintendent Wright, I would like for you to set up a president's roundtable, and myself as well as Trustee Gomez saw this on another school board member's page, where basically there was a roundtable and school board member was able to talk to the students. So I'm asking for class presidents from the freshmen to the seniors, as well as our National Honor Society, come together and we have a discussion on what they would like to see that money go to, and more importantly, just to see what they would like to see in their school district moving forward. That's all for me.
Madam President?
Trustee Williams.
I would like to just have some information, and I'm sure you guys have seen it, but Kawan Short, native of East Chicago, NFL football player, is hosting here at East Chicago Central High School his 5th annual Kawan Short Youth STEM and Football Camp. The dates are, the date is June 19th. Registration, the reason why I'm bringing it to your attention is because registration has started and it's free to our East Chicago students and kids. Registration started on April the 15th and it goes through May 16th, which is a month prior to the camp. So I want our kids to get that opportunity to participate. So please, parents, teachers, if you're listening and your kids are interested, it's just not for sports, but they do have a component with STEM, and education is a key role and is valued in his football camp. So again, it's taking place on Saturday, June 19th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Central High School. Registration started on April 15th and it continues through May 16th. It can be found at kawanshort.com for registration. Thank you.
Any other trustees?
Madam President.
Well, I just wanted to say, when we submit, I'd like to see, when an MOU is submitted, that we receive all of the memos that go along with those MOUs, and apparently a detail of description of those MOUs, that the programs that they're doing for those MOUs, because I think that that's a part of, we're not understanding exactly what that particular program details. So if it's so, I would like to see that. And if there's any memos that go along with it, not just the MOU, the complete packet.
Trustee Gomez?
Thank you. Just a couple of items. One is now that we've approved the already expiration of a non-renewal, how soon will you be posting this position? Correct. Yes. Okay. Thank you. And then,
Did you hear me? We're gonna post that position early next week.
okay, thank you. I just wanted to also make comment that, I've been on board a little over 100 days now, and I think we're still struggling with getting our minutes right. And that seems to be one of the more basic functions that should be occurring, and I don't see it happening right now. I'm a little disturbed by that. It's not the first time I brought this up, so I think the minutes that were presented for today's meetings give me real reason to wonder about how we're approaching this administratively. I'll leave it there. The third item, Jeanette Bramer is a 30-year employee, retired school city employee. She had 30 years of service as a paraprofessional librarian. She passed away a couple weeks ago, and if we can, I'd like to ask the superintendent to send a condolence letter to her family. I can provide you more information later.
Any other trustee remarks? The next date and time for a public public forum. This-
Comment section of the meeting. It's an opportunity to participate in this meeting. If you could, please step to the podium so that you can be heard. State your name and address. Please be respectful of the board, the administration, and all the other participants in our meeting.
Charlene Mahone?
Gibson King, 4102 Parish Avenue, East Chicago. I just have a question from Mrs. Wright. Do you know how many kids are going to be graduating? Oh, when will you know?
We won't know how many kids will graduate until the end of the semester, because some kids have to pass certain courses in order to receive a high school diploma.
Okay. So, from my understanding, there are 285 students at Block. From the report that we got, all the kids have F, so these kids are not going to be retained. We're going to pass all 285 of these kids are going to go to Central.
That's an issue that I would talk to you about private.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
thank you.
Oh, the prom is May 29th. Yes,
What's your
yes.
plan
Yeah.
going to be for June
May-
19th? That at Central?
May 29th.
Yeah,
That's not mine. It's not
well,
mine.
you
But
mentioned it.
Kawan Short,
Oh, Dewan.
yes, it's Kawan Short's
Okay.
football STEM camp. It's his 5th year doing it. He didn't do it last year because of COVID, but this is the first year that it's coming back.
But it's going to be at Central.
It is going to be a Central
Okay.
High School football field and gymnasium, if I'm not mistaken. Uh-huh.
The next date and time for our meeting will be May 5th, and that will be at 6 o'clock here in our boardroom. Can I have a motion for adjournment?
Madam President, make a motion to adjourn?
I
Trustee,
second that motion.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for adjournment. Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Ms. Bigum, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 What you say that?